guys and gals, Never here from Drakewing Gaming, and 70 Mounts Word of the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you to the Let's Play episode of Angels with Scaly Wings, Adine's Path. So let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you are up, and let's go! There we go. Okay. Humans. Humans. And that's the name of the series. It's a typical sitcom about a contemporary family as we would expect it, but the twist is that everyone is human. And then I realized why I hadn't been able to identify the creatures on the screen as humans. They were all naked! Since the dragon's concept of clothing was different, they'd applied their own principles when creating the series. It was quite bizarre to see a typical family sitcom where all the characters were in obviously fake costumes and also happened to be naked. Do you like it? It's one of my favorites. While it is a sitcom, it manages to address serious and deep issues fairly often, which I don't think would be as effective if I weren't watching them through the lens of this alternate reality. And this one isn't a bad episode, but it's already nearly over. I guess there's no point in just watching the ending. True. By this point, the credits were already rolling, and Adine turned off the TV again. What do you think? Let's just say that if a human looking like that suddenly showed up in our world, people would probably run away screaming. They don't look that bad. Sure, it's impressive if we consider what they had to work with, but there's a few things they got wrong. Like what? For one, humans mostly wear clothing, and secondly, we don't have tails. Those are just small details. The series is still good, though. Is it popular? Popular monster? No. For sure, many people love it. I see. I hope they aren't too scared of me when they see how different I am, though. I didn't run away screaming when I first met you, did I? True. Now that you're already here, there's something you could help me with. What is it? Well, it'd be a huge favor to ask, and it's kind of embarrassing. Just say it. The worst I can do is say no. How should I say this? It's about my shower. I get pretty dirty from practice sometimes, especially from the bad landings, and recently the detachable shower head broke. That usually wouldn't be much of a problem, but with this injury I can't quite reach a few places on my own. It's already not ideal having to manage everything with my wings, but now it's even harder. You want me to scrub your back? I guess you could put it that way. Told you it was embarrassing. Oh, hell yeah. Be scrubbing you, girl. Don't worry about it. I'm glad to help. Thanks! This way. I followed her, entering the rather large bathroom. The shower is huge. I wouldn't mind having one of these. This isn't just your regular dragon-sized shower. It's made specifically for a flyer like me. We need enough room to stretch our wings. Just think of the possibilities. She took off her goggles and stepped into the roomy walk-in shower. After pressing a button on the wall, the water started flowing from the shower head mounted on the wall. She moved around a bit, stretching this and that way in order to cover her whole body in the water. Soon afterwards, she pressed the button on the wall again and the water flow stopped. She turned to show me her back, wings splayed. Oh my! Oh my goodness. Oh. Pretty thing. Look at that girl. Look at that girl. Alright. The soap and sponge should be right there. I took a sponge that was unlike the ones I knew from back home and added some soap from a rather big bowl. It seemed to me that each species had their own challenges that needed to be overcome when it came to daily tasks like this one, emphasized by all the different design choices when it came to everyday items. You could start with the wings and work your way down from there. Sure thing. I couldn't help making a joke to ease the tension a bit when I put the sponge on her muzzle. Hey, it looks like you've got something here. Oh, wait, that's just your stripes. Hey, stop that! Sorry, couldn't resist. Good job, now I've got soap on my nose. I started scrubbing her wings. Now that I could see them up close and fully extended, I found them to be quite impressive. You know, I actually tried to do that before. What do you mean? Washing off those stripes. Why? Well, I was just a child back then. You know how kids are. They make fun of everything. Though, I don't know if human children are the same way. They are, trust me. Don't press too hard there. That's the injured shoulder. I'll be careful. Eventually, I reached her lower back, and while I was washing a particular spot on her left side, I could see her leg twitching slightly. Are you ticklish there? I guess you noticed. What happens if I do this? I repeated my ministrations, moving the sponge in circles over that particular spot. Hey, stop that! She started squirming, and suddenly her tail whacked around and hit me in the face, causing me to stumble and fall over backwards. Are you okay? I guess I deserve that. Well, you tickle the dragon, you get the tail, apparently. Oh, that's pretty. The forked tip of her tail was still hovering inches in front of my face. Its peculiar shape reminded me of something, and I couldn't help but grab it and hold it like a telephone. Hello? Hello? What are you doing? I think your phone isn't working. Stop being silly. Alright, I'm nearly done anyway. I resumed my scrubbing. By now only her tail was left. Not being entirely sure about my technique, I moved the sponge over the tail's whole length in small circles. When I was nearly done, I noticed a little rumble emanating from her, reminding me of what an oversized cat's purr might sound like. Yeah, boy, you're doing the right thing. Are you purring? Suddenly her expression changed as she looked over her shoulder. Oh, are you done? You should take a step back if you don't want to get hit by the water. After I left the shower again, she pressed a button on the wall, and the water resumed once more. She only stood under it briefly and moved around a bit until the water had completely washed off the suds. When she turned off the water again, I realized that it didn't cling to her much at all. After she shook herself a bit, she stepped out again, nearly dry. Thanks, I really needed that. You're welcome. Second now. Alrighty, y'all, and we are back. Okay. It's probably getting late for you, and I already held you up this long. Don't worry about it. Oh, it's already dark outside. I guess that took longer than I thought. I'm not supposed to go outside this late. You're right. We were advised by the police to stay inside after nightfall because of everything that's going on. For me, this is even more important. We don't know if there's anyone out there who might want to target me. I suppose you'll just have to spend the night then. I guess so. Uh-oh. Brown chicka wow wow. Another free day. Yay me. I wish I would have gone into detail about what they did. Meet with Kevin. Hello, Kevin. That must be him. Ah. Hello. Good to see you again. This is where you live, huh? For the time being. That's pretty nice for a small town like this one. Are you not from around here? No, I'm just here for the job until the next semester starts. Basically, I'm trying to drum up interest for the college and see if there's anyone around who'd like to apply for it. How's that working out? Well, I haven't actually met that many candidates out here so far. For a town like this one, it's typical for the young people to go into an apprenticeship to prepare for their future job rather than go to college. But if there's anyone willing, we want to find them. Even out here? Yeah, there's always a need for more highly educated people in the cities as they expand. Cities? That's the first I hear of cities in this world, and I thought this town was where it's at. Then you've really been missing out. This town isn't really all that special when it comes down to it. I've lived in the city for most of my life. Of course, that's also where the college is. I don't think they'd build one out here anyway. I think as ambassador they'd show me around a bit, but apparently that isn't the case. Your visit is a bit of a political issue right now. The bottom line is that it's also for your own protection. Everything surrounding the portal has been a well-kept secret. People know that it exists and that we currently have human visitors, but the exact location is only known to those who live here. If it ever got out, I don't think this town could face the ensuing torrent of tourists trying to catch a glimpse of you. Travel's been restricted as well. There are strict conditions for people who want to come out here. The only reason I was allowed to is because this isn't the first time I'm doing this job. The people here already know me. Heck, I didn't even know this was the town in question until I arrived and heard everyone talking about you. Well, I'm glad they're taking this matter seriously. They certainly are. I'd like to know more about these cities you talked about, though. Well, I can only speak about the one I live in, but what do you want to know? I only really have this town as a point of reference, so why don't you tell me about what's different? Gee, that's only pretty much everything. Out here, living in general seems to be a lot cheaper than it is in the city, and there's much more room for everything. There are green spaces, fields, parks, and farms. You don't really see that in the city. People are more laid back, and there is a bigger sense of community as everybody knows everyone, which can be both good and bad. For example, rumors travel fast and survive well in areas like this one. In the city, you can just make new friends when that happens, but out here, a well-placed story could mean social death. Well-placed stories can mean social death. In the city, it's also much more crowded. Buildings pretty much line the streets, and there isn't much room for anything else. But with the clubbing scene and opportunities for socializing, there's no shortage of potential friends. There are also many different jobs and education opportunities that you couldn't find out here. Like what? Creative jobs of all kinds. For example, game designers, writers, artists, that kind of stuff. The same goes for teaching positions in those areas as well. For example, if I wanted to learn how to write a romance novel, I can find a course for that easily. Out here, this would be a lot more difficult. You know what I mean? Yes, absolutely. In a way, it feels like you're always busy when you live in the city. The streets are usually filled with people trying to get somewhere. Of course, this is also a side effect of the small apartments, as people tend to go out more often and seek entertainment elsewhere. Which do you prefer? In the end, I suppose I prefer the city. That's not to say that I think one is better than the other. Different strokes for different folks and all that. You know, out here people would probably laugh at some of the things I do in my free time, but in the city you get enough like-minded people to even get conventions going about all kinds of things. What conventions do you go to? I like all kinds of geeky things, cartoons, comics, and all that stuff. I've even written a few fanfics before too, since I can't really draw all that well. Aren't cartoons usually for kids? That's like saying books are usually just for kids. Cartoons are just a medium. Of course there are some that are aimed at kids, but there are cartoons for adults as well. Cartoons for adults. I see. Not like that. Well, I mean, there are cartoons like that, but that wasn't what I was talking about. In any case, what else falls under geeky interest for you? Let's see. I guess you could say I'm kind of a techie. I do like following news about technology and hearing about all new developments in the industry. You must be pretty interested in the portal, then. Oh, right, I didn't even consider that I could actually go there and check it out. If I knew where it was, that is. I could show you. If you did that, you'd be like the coolest human I've ever met. I suppose you'd be that by default, since you're also the only one I've ever met, but you get the idea. Let's just go. I'll be right behind you. There it is, in all its glory. That looks so much cooler than I thought it would. Halt! State your business! I just wanted to show the portal to my friend here. Well, friend, you can look, but don't touch anything, and no photos either. Do I look like I have a camera? Well, you could be hiding something in your fur. Are you gonna give me a pat-down? I don't think so. What's that, though? Flyers for a Midwest institution. I could give you one if you're interested in going back to school. No, thank you. I'm quite happy with my current job, which is protecting the portal from any unsavory individuals. What's up with you, Sebastian? I'm just doing my job, Keegan. He could be a spy. Really? There's been a lot of interest in the portal from the cities. They've made us offers, but for now, we're not doing anything until we see how our visit turns out. In the end, it's just a political power struggle. Small towns like us have to protect our interests. And in the process, reinforce the stereotype of country bumpkins being conspiracy nuts. You know I could arrest you, right? Respect is a two-way street, just saying. Trust is good, but control is better. It's just a matter of perspective. Well, I think I've seen enough here anyway. Let's head back, Keegan. Sure. You're not gonna leak anything, are you? Of course not. Not that now that I think about it, I totally could, though. Oh, really? I have some connections in a potential audience. Now, you're starting to sound like Sebastian had a point. Not really, I just know a few people from writing a column in our college magazine. It got popular enough that it was even featured in the local newspaper for a while. Interesting. What did you write about? Nothing special, really. It was just a commentary about current events. I see. I guess you were pretty involved in your local community then. Alright, y'all. I'm actually gonna pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to give a quick shout out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank y'all if I do for the channel. Greatly appreciate your support. Thank our silver tier patron, Cade Silverman. Thank you going above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks to our two gold tier patrons, Zeke and Toby. Y'all are awesome. We love you. Thank you for subbing to Ultimate Tier. Anyway, if y'all want to get your names in the credits, get access to all of our not safe for work contents as little as $5. Alrighty, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!